We are getting old.
My dream is to be a pilot. I want to be an architect.
Geologist.
You and I are growing further. You don't really talk to me.
Hi everyone, and welcome to One Degree Alumni Podcast and our alumni stories, episode number 14. And today we've got Kylie, a student from One Degree 2017. Hey Kylie, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thank you so much for joining today. Looking forward to having a little chat. I know it's been a while since the time that you were on One Degree, so really looking forward to finding out about what memories you've had from One Degree, what you've been up to between One Degree and now, and just some of the sort of journeys you've gone through so far. But I guess just to start off with, let's think back to all those years ago. Tell me about some of the memories you've got from your time with One Degree.
Yeah, it's been 7 years to be exact. So it's been such a long time. It's been more than half a decade. So it's nearly closer to a decade rather than half. What I can remember about One Degree is obviously the support from Roger. Obviously, that was the first thing, encouraging us to basically do well in our GCSE. But I think my highlight is basically, obviously, we're not going to lie here, is seeing friends every day, having a good time with them, and basically getting free breakfast, free lunches that's been provided for us. And that's been really helpful because then it definitely encourages us to go to all the the mentoring stuff, and the mentoring is really good as well. And I'm very grateful that people who works from different companies would come and join the mentoring session, and they don't have to do it, and it's kind of nice in terms of them giving up their time and they're not even getting paid for it. So I'm hoping maybe one day when I'm good enough for myself to actually come back and do some mentoring session as well. What else can I tell you? Probably the guest speakers. So I wasn't even aware until I reviewed the photo the other day that it was Tim Campbell. I absolutely did not have a clue that it was Tim Campbell from The Apprentice who gave us our certificate. And obviously, I think he won the Apprentice after he gave us the certificate. So we definitely didn't know him beforehand. But yeah, I think it's been helpful, especially the maths and English. I think if it weren't for One Degree, I wouldn't have passed my GCSE. And that's such a big thing because it's part of my job now. Usually part of my job, especially maths. But yeah, I think it's been it's been a big part of my journey through where I am right now because of the support and the mentorship that One Degree has given to me and to other peers that I had that time.
Oh, it's amazing. No, that's such a nice summary. Thanks so much. It's funny, a couple of things you mentioned there. The food, one thing that always makes me laugh. I think that I remember the year that you were on One Degree. It was a real peak time in our food because we managed to get so many different sponsors that year. Mm-hmm. So I think the breakfast and lunch, there's so much variety, from several different places that sort of sponsored food. So I think you really lucked out that year.
Definitely.
Being good food. But yeah, you're so right about the different types of mentors and the guest speaker and obviously Tim Campbell coming and doing your certificates right at the end. Really, really lucky. Was there any sort of mentor or guest speaker or anything in particular that jumps out at you from something they said or a bit of advice they gave or anything that you can remember?
I think probably one of them said when they were speaking to us, is one of the guest speakers saying that just take your time. There's a lot of time at GCSE. I mean, GCSE was 7 years ago, and from now to then 7 years is it seems like a long time, but it's such a short period of time. So it's just take your time and just make sure just that you have fun as well. at the same time. You don't have to necessarily study all the time, but have fun as well, because that's part of what you need to do in terms of when you go to the real world as well.
Yeah. And, because it's been 7 years now, how would you compare that stress level of having to do your GCSE exams versus any kind of stress that you've had between, doing that and now? Has there been anything that's as stressful, or is that not nearly as stressful as some of the things that you've had to do since then?
I think there has been more stressful scenarios where, comparing to GCSE, like obviously taking my exam on my degree and passing my degree. So that was kind of similar feeling, but obviously GCSE is an important grade that you need to have, because every single employer are asking for it, and that's the minimum level at least that you need to do. But yeah, I think it's not just GCSE that's stressful in the life. There's more to come, but you deal with it as it comes, and you deal with it with how much you can deal with it, basically.
Yeah. Was there a really big relief when you got through the exams and you finished that whole sort of phase in your life?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Massive. It's a massive relief in terms of finishing GCSE, college, and then degree. And I'm still not finished. So I'm still not finished. I still got a year, and it's just never ending. But it's worth it in the end. It's worth it.
Well, it's good that you brought that up. So let's talk a bit about finishing One Degree, and then in the next few years after One Degree, what you got up to. Talk us through that.
Yeah, so after One Degree, I stayed with Westminster Academy to do my sixth form, and I went to BTech Business. So BTech Business, that includes Maths and English. So I did that for 2 years, and I got a distinction, which is good. So after sixth form, during the sixth form area, I had a work experience with Waits, their construction company. And at first, I didn't want to do it because I thought, what am I going to do there? It's going to be construction, it's going to be bricks and being on site, and I would hate it. But my school basically pushed me to do it, to see how it goes, just for a month. And I went for it. It was paid internship, so that helped me encourage. So I went there for a month, did some shadowing, and I was quite interested in this one role. Specifically, the first person that I shadowed was an estimator. And then after that, I was kind of more interested in what they're doing, and kind of had an exposure with Waits and what they do. I was in the office. I wasn't even on site. I was on site maybe twice, 3 times during that month. And then I came back to sixth form. I got my grade, and I applied for Waits for apprenticeship. And there was a lot of companies that I've applied for, but I got rejected. I've got declined. It was really hard because I was so nervous that I wasn't going to get a job straight away. I wasn't going to go to university. That was my first thought. Going to university wasn't for me. And I would love to do a on-the-job training where people will teach you and pay for your university fees and avoid all the debts, basically. So I've applied for Waits, and I've obviously known some internal people in there, and they helped me through the process. So I was quite lucky. It was kind of handed into me in the plate. I just needed to work as hard as I can to revise about the company and what the role was, and just be myself, basically. And they were the only ones who actually accepted my application. And since then, I've been so grateful that some of those people internally helped me through the process, because otherwise I don't know where I would be. I would probably be at university and studied business, and I wouldn't have had a clue if I was going to be in construction at all. Yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, and presumably, from what I understand, what you're saying, you going down that career pathway wasn't something you really thought of or considering, and you kind of got semi pushed down that way. Now all of a sudden you're like, actually that was pretty good. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hear about estimator, quantity surveyors, or bid managers, or that kind of job role. It was just always you work in a business company, or marketing, or doctor, or nurse, or teacher. There's no explanation in schools where there's so much more job roles in the world that you could do, but nobody explains that to you until you're actually exposed to that environment.
Yeah, nice. And are you finding that kind of career is becoming much more diverse now, and it's not just a male orientated, and there's much more sort of females coming through into those kind of careers now?
Yes, definitely. There's where my company is pushing for to employ more women in the industry, but I find that probably it's getting better now. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still male dominated, but it's gradually improving by time, especially when they get trainees like myself when I started, and they get more female applicators for the job roles. So yeah, I think everyone in construction industry are pushing for a female CEO or a female manager, and that's a big thing for myself, because I can see the opportunities there, and it's not just being a woman, it's a person of color as well. That there's an opportunity now that's been open, it's open, but it's starting to more open to everyone, basically, and not just for a male dominated industry.
It's amazing. And for you being in that situation now, where you are starting to see the transition, even in your time sort of there, are you finding that, as you said, more of an opportunity, or is it still more of a challenge, and you still see a bit of difficulty along the way, or is it feeling like there's just more opportunity than that?
It's feeling like there's so much more opportunity. I don't feel like I have to challenge to be a manager or an official, director or something like that in the future. It just feels equal. It just feels equal now more than ever. And I never thought that would feel that way in such a male dominated industry.
So that's amazing. No, that's absolutely incredible. And so, are you loving this career now? Are you finding that it's just super exciting?
Actually, you know what? At first, I was finding it really hard. Obviously, the first 2 years, because I had no clue what the role actually what I needed to do. I had an idea of what the day-to-day was, but not doing it. So I was doing it for a couple of months. I started September 2019, so I've been there for 5 years now. And obviously, COVID happened. And COVID happened for a year, and then went back. So I kind of had a disadvantage on going on site and learning measurements and learning how the construction industry works. So that was a disadvantage. That was a setback for a little bit. But then obviously everything lifted up. But I'm now that everyone is back, and everyone has been very helpful, basically. You're not just on your own. It's not like I employ you, you do that. It's like I will employ you, I will train you, and I will support you. And if you have any questions, just let us know. It's been a journey. I'm still learning right now. I did two years in HNC in college in construction. And I've just finished my degree this year for quantity surveying. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been so stressful because I was doing my job at the same time.
That's definitely worth celebration. That's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I thought I was finished, and I'm not. And I'm still. So at the moment I'm doing a chartered surveying. So RICS. I'm doing my RICS chartered surveying at the moment. So that will be mid of next year. I'll be getting that. So it's hard work to doing an apprenticeship. Because you're expected to do your job role, and you're expected to do your degree or your college at the same time, but it's really worth it because you're getting paid and you're getting trained at work, and you don't have any debt, basically.
Yeah, well, it sounds like that risk definitely paid off. Not that it necessarily was a risk, but like always a chance, sort of going down the apprenticeship route, then trying to, get paid while you're doing some training as well. And it looks like it's all worked out really well for you.
Yes, yeah, I'm thankful for that person who definitely pushed me to do the internship, because it had opened my eyes. But I love my role at the moment. It's such a kind of an open, because I'm an assistant estimator at the moment, so I'm working through to be an estimator. But obviously that would take a bit more time, a few months or a year to get that role. So that will be the next stressful thing that I could go into.
So tell us just very briefly a little summary of what your role would sort of entails. Training aside, but like day-to-day job and what some of the things are that are sort of expected of you.
So being an estimator is basically being a part of a bid team. So how I can example it is basically we win projects for the company. So Waits as a company would bid for a project. Specifically, I work in social housing, which I know about because I've lived in a social housing before. It's basically where a council association would release a project. For example, if we use maybe Grenfell as an example, so Waits work in Grenfell, so that will be a good one. So Waits work in Grenfell, so how they got that job is a couple of companies would bid for the job. We will then give council our rates for the actual project and what we can do to make it better and how we can be sustainable. And then we will submit our rates to the councils, and they will make a decision who will be in the project, whether it's Waits, whether it's Wilmot Dixon, whether it's someone else. So Waits won that job. So my job role is to price it. So I'm in charge of the numbers basically, and get in touch with subcontractors to get rates and specialists as well. So yeah, that's overall. You work on Excel sheets, you do meetings. There's a lot of maths involved, which is where One Degree obviously goes in the GCSE. But yeah, that's the day-to-day job basically. It's winning the job for the company.
I mean, you perfectly led it into the next question. I was going to say, so you actually then have to work out the amount of money that's needed for a job and the equipment, obviously, that you need to assign for that, and therefore how much it's going to cost. So that would be the sort of, I suppose, the primary part of your job. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so it's basically pricing or getting the rates from the subcontractor in terms of the supply costs, the material, and the labor as well. And the plant. So it's basically getting prices or pricing it yourself, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain my job role. My friends don't really understand it sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, we win jobs for the company. That's it. That's the easiest way I can say it, because when you go into it.
You've explained it perfectly. So then, other than obviously having to be pretty good at maths and Excel and all that kind of stuff, do you have to be quite good with people as well? Because you're probably dealing with a lot of people a lot of the time.
Yes, yeah, massively. It's a massive part of the job is speaking to the subcontractors and making a relationship with them, because otherwise then you're just getting rates from them, and it's just like you can't just say bye and thank you. You need to know a little bit more about them, and not just the subcontractors, the people you work with as well. So there's a lot of people involved in the meeting where they need to sign off certain rates, because money obviously is the important thing within the company. So you need to make sure that you're aligned for the right profit and the right site overheads, prelims. But yeah, you have to be good with people and learn how to listen specifically, and have your opinion at the right time and communicate with people.
and so, other than obviously doing well in maths, and what are some of the other subjects that would be key in getting into industry like this for any students listening?
The main one is apart from maths, English, you have to send so many emails and read a lot of contracts as well. So you do need to understand a lot of words like adjudication, mediation. So there's a lot of you need to understand what the client is saying because you are reading the documents. Yeah. So you need to be able to understand what they're trying to say and what do the client want. So English is a big thing, and obviously writing an email or a letter asking for rates for the subcontractors. That's one. I can't think of anything else apart from maths and English, which is the main thing. Can you think of anything else that you think?
No. I was just honestly wondering. I wonder, is it down the line? Do you have to learn a bit more about things like property law or sort of, any sort of environmental regulations and stuff like that as well?
Oh yes, yeah. So a lot of companies now are doing sustainability. So you do need to understand environment and what are the sustainable products. And I've actually worked on a couple of retrofit projects. So it's where the government are trying to be more sustainable in their houses. So you need to understand maybe geography or something of I don't know. Maybe geography when it comes to sustainability, and social value. Social value is where the company would then help build a park or build something that would benefit the people, the local residents, basically. I can't think of anything else really.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. It's amazing. So, I mean, that's been such a nice sort of recap and where you're at, and a little bit about your role and stuff. What about next steps and looking forward to the future? Where do you see Kylie in 5 years' time? What would you like to be doing? What are some of the directions you're heading down now?
The main direction now is because I've finished graduation and I've mentioned that I'm doing my chartered surveying degree. So that'll be finishing mid next year, and then I'm also working on a promotion as well to be an estimator. So that will take a few months, do some evidencing and do more learning. So that'll be the next step. Hopefully, the next time we speak, I'll be an estimator. That will take time. But I'm actually, apart from obviously work, I'm planning. I would love to do a sabbatical. So after 5 years of learning. Not just 5 years, it's longer than that, but 5 years of learning since I've joined weights. Yeah. I need the break. I need maybe 6 months to a year to take my time to travel and experience the world at least once. But yeah, apart from being an estimator, I see myself 5 years to be maybe a senior estimator. So there is a lot of opportunity, honestly, because there is you don't have to wait for someone to go. I don't know if that what you call it is. Basically, it's your own phase, basically. So you can be an estimator, estimator manager, and an estimating director, an estimating manager. So there is a lot more. It's going to take a few years until I reach that point. And I think I would love to stay in my job role. And yeah, I think maybe staying at weights, but we'll see. Yeah, they're a very good company.
Yeah, no, amazing. So I guess just to wrap up, have you got any bits of advice, I suppose, first of all, for the student that's about to go into their GCSE year and they're about to face this daunting year ahead and they don't know where to start? And then second, any little bits of advice that you've gathered along your journey since One Degree, or anything that you draw on day to day just to keep you positive, keep you moving forward, and not take little bits of rejection too hard, or anything that's really just helped you. So I suppose some advice for GCSE students, and then just any general bit of advice that you've got.
For the students who's taking GCSE, I think my main advice is to don't leave it too late to revise. For me, I mean, just don't take your time. Give it a few months or a year, or I don't know, a few months probably. but take it bit by bit. You don't have to learn everything all at once and cover a topic all in one day, because it's not done within a day. It will take a few weeks, a few months to actually learn something, and then it will stick in your head. You can't just force yourself to learn something in a day or two before the exam starts. And also just enjoy every bit of, you're going to be spending time with your friends, they're going to go as well, so just have fun as well at the same time. And a bit of advice after GCSE and graduating in year 11 is to just basically, you're never too late. You can always change your mind if you'd like to do, if you decide to do business and then you go ahead and do some construction just like me. It's never too late to change your mind. Basically, everything is connected. Basically, because a job, you can learn people skills, math skills, you can learn different skills, but that is adaptable on the next job, or if you change your mind. And the main thing is you need to get along with people. So yeah, if you ever feel free to change your mind, take your time and just enjoy yourself. Don't take everything seriously. Rejections or failures is just a learning curve. It will be stressful and hurtful, but I think that was massive for me, to take it as a learning thing and a good thing, instead of putting yourself further down the road. Just pick up yourself and just do it. Just go do it. That's it.
Just do it. I love it. No, thank you so much. That's such good advice for everyone listening. Kylie, listen, thank you so much for joining today and having a little catch up and a chat. Really enjoyed listening to what you've been up to, and looking forward to catching up again in the future and seeing, how things are going. And,
yes.
One day you become CEO of Weights, maybe, who knows,
That's very far.
But no, amazing. Thank you. And congratulations on everything you've achieved so far. To everyone listening, this has been One Degree Alumni Stories, episode 14. You've been listening to Kylie, a student from One Degree 2017. And my name is Roger, the CEO of One Degree. So thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.